Hi you guys, it's Amy Gretchen. Welcome back to another Project Life Process video. In this video, I'm working on week 11 from 2017. And since this is what I do every time, I just want to start off by saying a big thank you to all of you who subscribe and to all of you who are watching my videos. Thank you so much for all of your feedback as well. It definitely means a lot to me to know that you are enjoying the videos and that you're getting something from this. That's definitely why I do it. All right, so let's just jump back and start talking about the layout. So what I did this time a little bit differently is I really wasn't sure what stories I wanted to tell. And you can see that I have type on maybe a couple of the photos, but I not really have any stories told. I just really have photos picked out. I didn't want to take the extra time in Photoshop. I just wanted to get those photos printed, and I felt like either the stories were matter of fact, or those photos that I had, I really wanted to tell those stories with a 3x4, so I didn't write anything on it. So I'm just looking through. The first thing that I looked through was the Eat Story Kit from Ali Edwards. She has a pad in there that says Story of This Meal, so I wanted to use that card. Then the next set of cards I looked through that were 3x4s were from Studio Calico, and mostly they were from March. And I grabbed out a couple that I thought would work really well with this spread as well. And you can see that I took a little bit of a break and I did some journaling. So some of that journaling, like I said, it's either going to go directly with one of the photos or it's just going to be on its own. Then I grabbed over another story kit from Ali Edwards. I actually bought this back in November, I believe, is when she had some of her kits on sale. She definitely tends to do that maybe once or twice a year, so check that out when she has some of her kits on sale and snag them because you probably won't see them again. So anyways, I wanted to grab over the Tough kit because I was telling a story that was kind of tough. My older daughter had several rejections within the course of a 2-3 week period. And I just was writing her a letter about how that's definitely going to happen in life, is to get rejections and to get back on your feet and to move forward and to keep going. So it was a little bit about that. Those are the types of stories that I also want to get down in Project Life. And I actually said to her, I'm not documenting this to frustrate you, but I'm documenting this because I want you to remember that stuff like this happens. So I definitely think it's important to document those kinds of stories as well. So you can see that I'm just adding a little bit of chipboard to that journaling card. So I definitely had, I think I did half and half. So there was like some journaling that I typed out because the stories were just too long, and then some that I'm going to be writing out. I did a list as well. That title card, the Don't Count the Days, the Make the Days Count, that came from an Ali Edwards story kit. And I'm going to guess it was from her numbers kit because it kind of sounds like that, but I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, if you're interested in her kit, look for the current one. If not, look for some of her old kits to go on sale. I'm not entirely sure if she has digital products on sale later on. I know that she does do that with the stamps. So that might be something I need to research. So this card right here, it was a spring cleanup checklist. And so I was writing down the things that we've been working on. It's actually been the last couple weeks since the weather's been really nice, that I just wanted to write down some of the things that we have been doing to clean up the yard and the house. Then that text, so I thought that text was really great. I wanted to document that text instead of just the photo. So my daughter sent me that photo, and underneath it, you can't probably read it, it says Project Life. So she sent me that photo because she wanted to put it in Project Life. So instead of copying that photo and printing it out separately, I decided that I wanted that text, because that's the story that I wanted, is that my younger daughter is totally in support of documenting and Project Life. So I wanted to tell that story. And then so the story of this meal, that card obviously goes with the food that's in the bottom left-hand corner. And I debated what I wanted to tell. That's kind of why you saw me hesitate. I was either going to tell the story of literally that meal, or I wanted to tell the story about how when my husband's out of town, which he was this week, the kinds of dinners that we eat, because we definitely eat a little bit differently when he's not around. Making homemade pizza, which is not like his favorite, things like that. So I ended up telling the story of the actual meal and that it's my favorite breakfast. And I was really debating, like, maybe I should just put this in my album because it's a story about me, but I just decided to include it because that's definitely a story to put in Project Life as well. Then I used some Ali Edwards stamps to just add a little bit, instead of the date, because eating that meal is kind of a daily thing. I stamped daily on there, and then I just stamped a little messy stamp that said pieces of my life. So you've seen me do now 3 times. I have typed right onto 3x4 cards. I do have a tutorial if you are interested. I will link to it below so you can see how to print onto already printed 3x4 cards if you're interested in doing that. Now I'm just working on, I think this is my last bit of journaling, this 3x3 card. This is a picture of my older daughter helping my younger daughter with math, which I think is really great. Lucky for her, when she's in AP calculus and she's working on 7th grade math, it's really easy for her. So I'm grateful that she has those skills and that she's able to be of help there. That's so nice. I'm not really awesome at math, so that's really great that that's a possibility. So I'm trying to figure out, I'm definitely thinking I want to do a filler card, and I really like the colors in those cards. So I'm trying to figure out how to make it work. In fact, you'll see me at some point pull over that handwritten quote again, because I thought it went really well with this week's spread, but I really didn't want something that was more white. I really wanted some color. And so that's why I really gravitated towards that pattern paper. And so what I decided to do is I grabbed over some Ali Edwards stamps. You saw me look through a bunch. These are all story stamps from Ali Edwards. And like I said, the majority of these are probably digital. In fact, I know most of them are digital that you can purchase. So you could just print these right on your computer and do something very similar. So I'm just stamping these out with black, and then I'm going to cut them out. And my original thought was this story that I was going to put right on the pattern paper. But for whatever reason, I didn't like it. And you'll see that coming up. I haven't even got to that point yet, but I'm just cutting out the rest of them. And then I want to put them on the photos, just adding a little bit more. This is definitely a step that you don't have to do. And for whatever reason, I just wanted a little bit something more. Or in fact, I was thinking of adding, like you see how it says this story with that pattern paper. And so I wanted to add a couple more embellishments to go along with that. So it felt like it was cohesive and that embellishment, this story belonged. So that's why I stamped a few more, and you can see that I looked for things that were handwritten as well and that had a box around it. Then I pulled over some embellishments, and I had anticipation of using those, and I don't end up actually using those. And the funny thing is I probably would have, but I end up getting like sidetracked on what I'm doing with this story because I didn't really like it as that filler card, because I thought, what is this going with? I couldn't figure out like what it was there for. It just felt like it was sitting there and didn't have a purpose. And so I decided to look through the stamps again and to see if there was something that went a little bit better. And I really like that messy circle, "This matters." I thought that could really go with anything. And so I thought that would be great. And of course, I love messy circles. And again, it has that handwritten feel, which the other stamps has as well. So it was totally what I was going for. So I wanted that stamp to be 3D. So I pulled over my foam squares just to raise that up a little bit and give it a little bit of dimension. So I really liked that. I thought that worked really well, and I definitely liked the circle. Even though the other two were like square and rectangular, I thought that it worked really well just because it had the same feel with the hand, that it was both handwritten. Just moving some cards around a little bit. What I was doing there is I wanted to break up the type and the handwritten. I tend to do that. I don't love having them all together, like all the type together and everything that's handwritten together. So I like to mix those up a little bit. The other two embellishments you saw, I just stapled those on. I just wanted a little bit different. And I felt like I wanted one more. And so I'm trying to figure out a place to put this story. I really do like that stamp. Now, it would be great to have it digital. I believe I do have it digital now that I'm talking about it, that I could have gone in and made it a little bit smaller because I felt like it was just a little too big, but it's, for all intents and purposes, it's fine. And I'm really happy that I have this spread completely done. So I decided to put it on that photo, and then I rearranged it because I didn't want to have all of the stamps together. So you see that I'm moving it back and forth. I'm actually stepping back and looking at it and thinking, do I like this or do I like it the other way? And things that were coming into play for me were, where are all the other embellishments, and then the color, because that blue of the morning sky was so bold. And then I felt like the title card and then that photo next to it were very similar. I basically just kept looking at this spread until I felt like I got it the way that I wanted. So you can see that I decided to actually move that photo, and I liked having the embellishments spread out. Like I said in the past, I think it really helps to draw your eye through the spread to have those embellishments spread out. And then you saw that I moved those 3x4 cards as well. Anyway, you guys, this is the spread for this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more of my Project Life process videos and you have not yet subscribed, please do so you can get updates. All right, you guys, we will catch you in the next video. Bye.